Hi VC, thanks for passing by. It's Rob here with another video, and I'm going to show stuff I've picked up over the last month or so really. I've got a huge stack of stuff to get through, and I thought I'd do a video showing mostly stuff from the 70s. Quite a lot of American artists to show, so yeah, a bit different for me. So yeah, let's get cracking, and Curtis has appeared, so I don't know how long he's going to be here, but let's see. Now, the first album I'm going to show you is an album from 1970, and it's this one, and it's Cosmos Factory by, it's one of the most annoying sort of names of a band. Let's call them Creedence. I always get the name wrong. So Creedence Clearwater Revival, and this is my first studio album, and this is a German import, first pressing. So I paid £12 for this. It's on a gatefold. I can open it. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people on the VC know all about this album. I was looking online, reading about Creedence, and this was rated as the second best album, and it's a really good album. The fifth album, I think they released a couple in 1970, and this is, you know, it's just got a great feel to it. It's like Southern American sound. I'm really getting into it at the moment. So yeah, this is like I say, it's a German pressing, and yeah, for someone like me who's dipping his toe into a lot of American artists, then this was a really good pickup. So yeah, really pleased to pick this up. Cosmos Factory by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Now Curtis is gone, so we can get going properly now. So yeah, the next album I'm going to show. Now on the VC, I mean, we've all got our favourite channels. But sometimes someone like sneaks up on you, and there's a channel called Coleco Silver. If you're not aware of him, it's a great channel. Guy in America. He's got, his knowledge is invaluable to me. You know, he talks about 60s music, 70s music. It's a real education, and actually the structures of the songs as well he goes into details about, and I can't get enough of his channel at the moment. And he's the #1 fan of this guy, Todd Rundgren, and this is called Faithful, and this is from 1975, and this is my first album by Todd. So yeah, when this came out, I mean, on Coleco Silver's channel, I think he reviews nearly all Todd Rundgren's albums, and goes in depth about them. A bit invaluable for someone like me, because Todd did not have huge success in the UK. So to pick his albums up is not easy, because they're just not floating around. You know, it's easier to find, you know, Paul McCartney albums and, you know, Elton John, but try and find a Todd Rundgren album. It's not easy. So if I see anything, I'm just going to grab it. Now this came out in 75, and it wasn't that well received. I know Coleco Silver, when he first got it, you know, it was like, what's going on here? Because Todd was the height of his sort of material he was bringing out this time was, you know, great. But this one was a bit of a curveball. Side 1 on this album is all cover versions. So, you know, you've got Yardbirds songs, you've got Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, you've got Strawberry Fields. But then on the second side, you know, we've got Todd songs, you've got Lover, Common Man, you know, some great songs on here. Black and White. But on the first side, you know, he's trying to sing like Carl Wilson, and he's trying to sing, you know, like the Beatles. He does a good job, but it was really curious choice at the time. But you know, over the years, it's got more critical acclaim really. So it's like I say, I do it to my nose a lot, because I do have hay fever, and it's really annoying. So Todd's albums, like I say, in the UK, you can't sort of go out and say I'm looking for this and I'm looking for that. You've just got to grab what you see really. And this is still in the shrink, which is interesting. when you see his album, it's not expensive. I mean, I think this was about £6. So yeah, really on the lookout for Todd Rundgren. So really pleased to pick this up, and it's Faithful. Now, here's another American artist who, you know, not easy to find, and it's Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians, and this is called Gotta Let This Hen Out, and this is a live album from 1985, and Jeff Kempin did a video. I think he went to see him. I was talking about Richard Hitchcock anyway, Robyn Hitchcock should I say, and in the UK, nah, nothing, no success whatsoever. So my reference point was that he sounded a little bit like Jonathan Richman, who I really like. Now, like I say, this is a live album, and I'm not sure whether a live album is the best way to get into somebody, but I really enjoyed this. Similar to the Jonathan Richman album that I picked up a couple of months ago. That's a live album as well, but it's just difficult to find albums like this in the UK. So I think a lot of it is that a lot of the British artists, I've got most of the stuff by them now, so I'm looking to expand my horizons, and that's what I use the VC for, to find out about a lot of these artists in America who were successful over there, but they sort of didn't transmit that success to the UK. And Robyn Hitchcock certainly fits into that category. But you know, this has got my juices flowing a little bit. I really enjoyed this, so if I see anything by him out and about, I'll be picking it up. So yeah, Robyn Hitchcock, and Gotta Let This Hen Out. Now, another American artist here who I've got about 5 albums by him, but it's nowhere near enough. I've got quite a lot of CDs by him, and it's Neil Young and American Stars and Bars, and this is from 1975, and I've made a bit of a decision on Neil Young, because I mean, I was listening to this album and I just enjoyed it so much, so I looked it up, and it's considered about his 20th best album, and he's actually done well over 40 albums, Neil Young. So I've decided that I'm going to try and pick up as much Neil Young as possible. I mean, I was listening to it and I'm thinking, Paul Weller's been listening to Neil Young, because I could hear Paul Weller and Neil Young so much. And this is a really good album. I mean, if this is the 24th best Neil Young album, like I said, I do have quite a lot of CDs by him, but I always think in the UK, people who have got Neil Young albums, they're not going to want to let go of them. So you very rarely see them on things like car boot sales. You've got to go to record fairs if you want to pick up Neil Young. But this was £8, so I think that's pretty reasonable. So really on the lookout for Neil Young now. Going to make a big effort, and I really like that sleeve as well. On the other side, it's got his face up against a window with I think that's Southern Comfort in his hand. So contrasting sleeve, but yeah, great artist, Canadian artist, and can't get enough of Neil Young at the moment. It's probably my favourite artist. Now, here's an album that people might be a little bit surprised that I don't have. I did have it, but it's a long story, but it's XTC, and it's English Settlement, and I think I lost this in my divorce settlement, because I don't have it anymore, but I do now. I paid £15 for this. I mean, it's quite difficult to rank XTC albums. They had a bit of a period where just, you know, from Drums and Wires and Black Sea, English Settlement, Murmur, Oranges and Lemons, it's pretty difficult to choose the best one. I mean, there's a lot of debate about it. It's not the news or anything, it's just a debate between sort of XTC fans. But for me, I mean, there's a lot of deep cuts on this that I like Runaways, All of a Sudden, Knuckle Down, English Roundabout, Leisure, you know, as well as a hit, Senses Working Overtime. I think this just tips it for me as the best album, maybe because it's a double. I'd love to have seen them touring this album, but Andy Partridge had stage fright and issues, he just couldn't perform live anymore. But I remember when this album came out, I bought it on the day it came out, listening to it in my bedroom. I wasn't, when it first listened to it, so many different styles on it. And it's a little bit folky in places. I wasn't 100% sure, you know, in 1982 it wasn't really my bag. But it's certainly grown on me big time. And yeah, I consider it the best album by XTC. So yeah, English Settlement and XTC. Now, here's a bit of a shock for you. And it's this one. So Randall Weaver can pick himself up off the floor. It's the Grateful Dead. And yeah, Rob the Deadhead. I mean, I've said before, my ignorance about music is staggering at times. And the Grateful Dead were a band in the UK, never really had much success at all. Bit of an underground band, and you know, a name of a band can sort of just put you off for life. And the Grateful Dead certainly did that with me. Randall Weaver did a video for my contest, and he spoke all about the Grateful Dead. So you know, when I eventually woke up, no, just joking, Randy. You know, I thought I need to investigate these guys, and I saw a documentary about them. So I picked this up a couple of days ago for £7. I mean, the sleeve's a bit shattered, but the vinyl's in really good condition. It's from 1970. And looking up about the Grateful Dead, this is considered the second best album, but this one's considered the best one. Yeah, American Beauty. So I ordered this one off Amazon because I didn't want to. I've been streaming this, and I really like this album. I didn't want to have to wait to find a copy of this album. The other albums by the Grateful Dead, I'll bide my time and just see what I can pick up in the wild. I mean, if I can pick that up for £7, then you know, maybe I can pick up some more Grateful Dead for a good price. But I certainly didn't want to have to wait a couple of years for this one. This is a great album. So yeah, Randall's done the trick with me. And yeah, I suppose I'm a bit of a deadhead. So yeah, Grateful Dead and a couple of albums. Now, this is an interesting one because this artist sadly passed away last month on the 6th of June. And it's The Brightest Smile in Town. And it's Dr. John. So James Griffiths, we all know about James, great channel on BC. And when Dr. John passed away, it's on DMN Records, and this is absolutely mint. He did a video on Dr. John. So, I mean, I was aware of Dr. John. I know he did, it was some involvement with Paul Weller at some stage in the 90s. He covered one of Dr. John's songs, but it just sort of got my interest, and I went to sort of a record place, and I saw this for under a tenner. I looked online. This isn't easy to get hold of, and it isn't cheap either. I mean, this is pretty mint. What do I think of it? Well, when I first put it on, it does remind me of Jules Holland. You know, a bit of boogie-woogie, a bit of blues, a bit of jazz. You know, I wasn't sure whether it was really my cup of tea, but by the end of side 2, I was enjoying it. So you don't really see much Dr. John knocking around. I'm sure James will be interested that I managed to pick this up for under a tenner. Then I've looked about Dr. John, and this is considered one of his best albums. So yeah, really pleased to pick this up, and it's Dr. John. Now, a couple of heavyweights to finish with, the last 50, 60 years. A couple of classic albums, well, maybe not classics, but pick this up. Paul McCartney and Ram. So, Paul McCartney, made my views on Paul McCartney. I think between 1970 and 1980 he did some great stuff. After that, I'm not too sure, but I've been streaming this, listening to it, really enjoying it. I mean, I don't think there's a bad track on this album. I think when it was released, it wasn't that well received, but Too Many People, Dear Boy. Like I say, I think I like everything on this album. It's a really clean copy as well. So there's not that much Paul McCartney that I need now, that I want really. But nothing wrong with this album. Might not have been critically received, very well received when it came out, but it was by me. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Paul McCartney and Ram. And finally, an album that people might think I have already got, but I haven't got it. So it's this one, and it's the Beach Boys and Holland. So yeah, I've got most Beach Boys albums, but they did release a lot of albums, and this was one that was missing. It's not got the Inner with it, it's not got the 7-inch single, but it was only £7, and I just made a decision to pick it up. I mean, I've spoke about the Beach Boys before, you know, and I'll say it again, I think they're underrated. I think people kind of, they decide that they don't like Pet Sounds or they don't like the surfing music. But this came at a time where, you know, they had a second wind, the Beach Boys. You know, they released Friends and 2020 and some great albums. I've got nearly all the stuff on CD, but Wild Honey I need, and I need Smiley Smile on vinyl. But this was one of the missing pieces of the jigsaw. And yeah, I mean, I do rate the Beach Boys higher than the Beatles. I know if you listen to their albums, there's always a couple of quirky songs on there which when you initially listen to you think what's going on there, but you know, they soon get in your head, and I just love the Beach Boys. So yeah, really pleased to pick this up. Holland by the Beach Boys. So that's it from me. I've got a load of stuff to show, but I thought I'd try and make this video showing sort of similar artists, some American artists that I'm delving into and trying to get into. Really, it's like I say, most of the British music that I've got it that I want. You obviously get the odd album that you want to get, but American artists that I've been a little bit ignorant of, I've just decided I'm going to make a concerted effort to get into. And I'm really enjoying discovering a lot of new artists, so yeah, long may that continue. So that's it from me. Hope you enjoy this video. Thanks if you're a new subscriber. Thanks for watching my videos, commenting. Always get back to you, love the interaction. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. That's it from me, and bye for now.